The reality behind success is made possible thanks to our sponsors.
Kelly on the beat, boy. Kelly on the beat, boy.
Hi, and welcome to the reality behind success. I am your host, Tanika Dugan, and this is my co-host,
Hester Bramble.
Today we're going to be talking to an individual about being molested from a young child and sexually, yes, and certain things that actually took place in her life from child to now, and how she overcome that situation and how she became a pastor as well, overcoming that situation.
Well, Tanika, being sexually abused from a child as a female growing up, it's hard for us females to deal with something like that and still come out successful in the end, because most people, that will keep them back in life.
Yes.
They will be afraid to come out and be who they are supposed to be in life. So that keeps them back a whole lot.
And to see that she is willing and able to tell us her story today, it is exciting. So we'll be right back and we'll see you soon.
Are you coming? Hey, what if you wait all year for vacation? That's great. What if you wait all year for time? That's great. Clifton Hill Beach Bar. Oh, put your hand in the air, everybody. Clifton Hill Beach Bar. Oh, your stress away every day. Now let me do it, let me do it, let me do it again. Let me move it, let me touch, let me turn it again. Jump and splash up, the hand them spread out. We having fun in the air, throwing stress away. It's about time for the family line, all in the sunshine. Feeling fine from Sunday to Sunday, where we play all day. Well, if you wait all year for time, that's great. Clifton Hill Beach Bar.
Hi, and welcome to the reality behind success. Today we will be speaking with Pastor Anne-Marie Lacailles concerning her sexual and physical abuse. Pastor Anne-Marie, welcome to the reality behind success. I am excited to hear your story because I know about certain things when you were, certain testimonies that you share in your past that I heard about. I would like for you to go back and allow the viewers to hear from when you were a child, from that sexual abuse from then to what that caused you to be or how it caused you to react. So what age you got sexually abused?
Well, I was 11 years old at the time, and I was abused by my stepfather, and that caused me to grow up selfish, isolate, and I recognize I grew to hate men because of that sexual abuse that took place.
So
Was
this sexual abuse, was this on one occasion or
no, many occasions? But most of the times when you do it, not most of the time, it's like my parents, my mother would be sleeping and he would come out to teach me a lesson, come outside, wake me up, and that time, yeah, so.
Did you tell your mother at that time?
Of course, I tell her it takes some time to tell because, when he would do that, he would threaten you, it's like, if you tell him or you tell anybody what will take place, what he'll do and what he wouldn't do. So it takes me a little time though.
Okay, and how she responded to that?
When when she get to know, she responded, oh God, she beat pelting, pelt clothes, pelt everything outside, throw him out, and that what really take place with the situation. It's something that she didn't really approve of.
Okay.
Although she blamed me many years for it, I caused her not to have a husband and you're right.
So after she threw him out, then she put the blame on you basically for not having.
Yeah.
Okay. and how that make you feel, how that make you feel towards individuals or even towards men.
Oh, well, men, I hated men like that. I started to use men, I started to share like that.
Yes.
And I didn't care
So-
because I want something, you want something, and that's what I started off with, you know.
So,
So-
can you elaborate some more for us about how you hated men, how you went about treating men after the situation?
Well, I went about treating men in the way, you know, like sometimes a man would come and love you, tell you they love you, but I know that story, so I ain't healing to it now.
Yeah.
So I would go like, I will go out with you, tell you come and meet me, so come we go in and lime, and then when we go, I do a lot of wicked little things too in between, in the sense of because all that because I didn't care and I didn't love men. I just want to like, you give me something, I give you something, I rob you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes like, you know, I would go in hotel and I would tell them, I go so far to take the money. Go so far when they don't change your clothes and lie down and I say, give me 1 minute, I come and I go and leave them right and I go on. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of little things that cause me to do what I do because of not having that love for men.
Okay.
Because of how the men treat me.
So give us a particular instance, a particular situation where you encountered that you showed that hate towards a man. A particular instance.
A particular instance is like, okay, I remember that I used to go out with this guy and I would tell him, well, you know, I love and I would show love and I would kind of do all these kind of things now. And then in the end of it, really, sometimes people just know you're on kicks and you're on games and you would end up to another way. Meaning like, sometimes somebody might say, so you take my money and I say there. And you know, it end up to be a war, it end up to be a licks and abuse in another kind of way.
Where
like,
you abuse him?
No,
because that's where, well, how, what I want to know, I know that, as you said, you kind of hated, or you hate men because of this situations. What did you go through during this process? Because hating man is one, and then you know that could have a toll on our lives as well, because we're trying to get back at them, and sometimes they feel they're getting back at us, and it's vice versa. Yeah. So what did you go through, or what did you experience during that time while you was getting back or having that revenge for a man?
Well, I don't know if I would say the right thing, you know, because what happened in the space of that after I left and I went to another village to live and I meet another guy, and I had really liked that guy, you know, and we go liming and we sleep around, and then I get pregnant, and you know, like, you know, well, I would say like I wanted in the sense of to get back in the way because, you know, in that relationship, I came and get pregnant, and it's like you get pregnant, but you don't want to have no baby because it's not like I really like you or care about you. So I just go around and I get to find out you could have abortion, and I decide to have the abortion, right? And then I really went, and somebody tell me, well, look, so and so and so, and I went, and I really went and I go to have the abortion, and when I went, this guy tell me, well, you know, to have this abortion, I must have sex with you before I do this abortion. You understand?
So you went to a doctor to have the abortion?
No, I went to this quack. Long time they used to say quack.
Yeah.
You know that word?
Yeah.
So I went there, and he and his wife used to do it, and the wife went outside and he had sex with me, a thing like that. And he asked me, well, they used to work together.
Wow.
Yeah. So she would go out and I thing, and what happened is he asked me how old, how much months it is, and I told him, well, 2, because at the time my period had stopped, you know.
Okay.
And then when I went and he did it, and then I get sick, take me to the hospital to cut the story short, and I went to the hospital. And you know, they keep you, when they know that you do this, they keep you and kind of suffer you in the sense of, because they want you to talk.
Yes.
And I wasn't talking, saying who, because they always warn you, don't say, you know.
Yeah.
And I stayed there, and then the doctor decided to operate whatever they just call it. Not operate, like operation. They decide to want to scrape and whatever and thing. And when you look at it, it was not really a 2 months baby. You understand? When they really do what they had to do and this baby came out, it was a big baby. And it was 8 months. And where he punctured was in the middle of the baby head. So sometimes.
So you saw the baby?
So I see the baby, big, nice, red, and everything a boy. And then all that time I believe that is when I thought I was doing somebody something, but I was doing myself.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And you will catch yourself with whatever. And then, I told him and he didn't like it, and then things like that. And then I end up going again and with him, and still came and I had a baby girl.
Okay.
And she's old enough now, have grandchildren, and I have grandchildren and things now. So that was an incident what I feel that I was trying to get back to somebody because somebody do me something, and I end up hurting myself anyway. Yeah.
And let us just take a little break and come back, and we'll find out from Pastor Anne-Marie Lacailles how she overcame the situation, as well as going a little more in depth in what took place. Let's take a break.
Whoa! Are you coming? Hey! What if you wait all year for vacation? That's great. What if you wait all year for time? That's great. Houston Hill Beach Bar. Oh, put your hand in the air, everybody. Houston Hill Beach Bar. Oh, your stress away every day. Now let me do it, let me do it, let me do it again. Let me move it, let me touch, let me play it again. Jump and splash up, the hand them spread out. Having fun in the air, throwing stress away. It's about time for the family line, all in the sunshine. Feeling fine from Sunday to Sunday, where we play all day. Well, if you wait all year for time, that's great. Clifton Hill Beach Bar.
Welcome back. Now, Pastor Anne-Marie is going to tell us a little bit of how she was physically abused.
Yeah.
Please elaborate on how physical abuse had a part to play in your life.
Okay, when I came out of the relationship, as I was saying before, okay, I end up meeting a man. I meet that man, and then, as I said, to cut this story short, that man was a man who was married, but he never told me he was married. And I end up getting pregnant for this man now, and I made this boy child. Then, you know about Way, right? So then I had a job and things like that, and I used to dream a lot, so people would come and pack up, blow me, call me, where's the number today, where's the getting it, you know what I mean? So I get me a little change to buy me a little pampers and whatever. And then somewhere along the line there, things turn around, and I started to align with this guy who played in the way. And he decided to take me and mind the baby and thing and all of that, and it did happen. And then we moved to a place they call California. And when we went to California, well, I ended up having a food place, and he had a club. So I cooking for the food and he looking after the club. And a guy came in there, and this guy liked me, and I was going through a lot with him because he had a lot of women, and I was young, and sometimes when he leave and he would go, and sometimes you go to look for him, and you go when people will tell you, well, looky there, and you go on like a young girl, and I would call him, and he would say all kind of things to me, all kind of abusive things and words, and I'll dig out your eye and your that, and I will leave you all kind of disfigured and all that kind of things, and I used to still be going. And then I remember this particular night, we were in the place, and they had this big game going on, and the same guy came in, but somebody had told him. So he called me that same night, and he told me come upstairs, because we used to live upstairs, going upstairs. And hear what this guy told me. He said, now hear what I want you to do for me. Okay, I'm in the toilet, and he said, you see that water? I want you to bend down your head in it and drink Like the toilet, bowl.
Yeah, the toilet bowl.
And I decided I ain't drinking.
But why would he do that? Like just like that?
No, because people tell him like I was with the man.
Oh.
You understand?
Okay.
Because some men that's coming again now. You're so nice and you're so cute. And why you with this man? And this man just beat you and he does do you this and do you that. So I said no, I am not going to do that. And we end up in a fight. Because he pushing my head down and I pulling up my head down and we going like that. And I saw a bottle and I scrambled the bottle and I break the bottle and it break with a long point. So I decided to just swipe so. So when I swipe, he get cut, I get cut. So all the blood flow in my face, inside my eyes. And he thought my eyes dig out. And then, I decide now to run outside. So we going outside, the rain was falling. It's a mess in the yard and who falling, who stumbling. But anyway, we end up, people call the ambulance and police and all kind of thing, and we went in the station and thing. And I remember that this guy tell me, he say, when the police come and they ask you a question, say somebody attack us, and you're young, and you like your man too now, you know what I mean? So you ain't really want him go, no police holding them and things, so you lie, And I end up, I had the little bruises on my scalp and things all over my face, you'll see it, And still I went back with him, After all of that. And man, let me tell you something. This is like when he say, oh, you really love me. And he decided to treat me. And I used to get licked so. I get kicked, I get cough, I get butt, I get slam, I get all kind of thing. And I remember this incident at time because he had cars used to drive him out and take him out and thing. And I remember a day again, I go on again. He going in this car, he dress up and he going in the car and he sit down in the back seat and I go and I hold on to the car and I telling him, well, where you going and where can I go? And he's saying, and he tell the driver, he said, drive. He said, I is a weakness. I telling you, drive. And that man take off and I hold on to the car and he drag me from a good distance. And then I just drop off the car and I fall down. Wow. And so, my thing is like, I just love people to know that sometimes men say they love you. You have a nice face, because they used to call me baby face, Douglas girl, because my head Douglas and a nice baby face and things like that. And they'll go and sleep with you and sometimes they rob you. Because I go already and I sleep, I rob too, but sometimes when you go and you're looking for your little $100, $200, or sometimes, your children are hungry or you have money to drop off for your mother for my next daughter home and all of that. And I go and I might go to get a little tank of gas and I go on when I done no gas. I have to get next little fella, well I'll get the gas and sometimes I get 2 tanks of gas.
What was your desire now to come out of this situation, seeing that you went through all of this, seeing that you was both sexually abused, you was physically abused? When you came to that point to say, here, enough is enough for me, and this is my turning point. When you came with that, or when you felt like that was your turning point?
When I felt like making that turnaround,
yes.
Well, I came very sick after a while. I started to fall on the street, and I would vomit black and stuff like that. Yeah. And then no doctor didn't know what's wrong with me. Okay. And a doctor said to me one day, look, let me just do you a favor because you could die on the street and nobody wouldn't. And he told me, well, I will get you medically unfit, and I get medically unfit. And this is how I left and I went to America and I visited a doctor because, they explained to me when you go to America and even though you don't have your papers and you're visiting, you could see the doctor and find out what's wrong because you're a visitor. And they gave me all the tests. And they came up with this tumor I had in my head on the left-hand side. And then one day, a woman invited me to church, and I went to church. And I started praising the Lord, and I continued to go to church, and I get healed. And that was it, and that was my turning point for me. Yes.
So you just grew more and more in Christ.
Yes, and I started to love Christ more than everybody because I recognized that Jesus had loved me from since 11 years. Yeah. He took care of me and he kept me, and in spite of all the abuse and the sexually abuse, he took care of me. Yes. Yeah. So this is what my turning point to, And then, I'm making a big skip here, and then I end up to the way of holiness. And all that time I'm still in love, and Yes. But I get love at the way of holiness, and it's just started to begin to love people back and like, I could talk to men and men could touch me and they could, and all these kind of things. And I wouldn't feel no way.
Yes.
You understand?
Tell us about your successes as a pastor now. After overcoming all this in your life, you are now a pastor.
Well, it was hard too, I go through a lot, but God again kept me true. And I become visiting the prisons. I would go to YTC, I would go to women prisons, and different places. And then I do RI, and then, a lot of little things. And then I feed the poor, and I close the poor, and the needies and things. I still all do that. I still throw my bag on my shoulder and walk into the food, and people know you, and they just gather around you when they see you, and you share your food, and you give the clothes, and and it's really, really a real turnaround for me.
Pastor Anne-Marie, I just want to thank you for allowing us to interview today. But one thing I want you to do before we go is speak to the viewing audience and tell them something that God has imparted in you to express, to share with them, or someone that is hurting and going through a particular pain right now, even sexually or physically being abused. You share with them.
I will say to viewers out there is, when we say love, we're love. It's not really love. God love is love, and God love does keep you, strengthen you, it encourages in any way and in anything. Right now I end up seeing 2 sets of abuse in maybe last week and this week where man will, they're saying you love you, but they will beat you on the street, kick you and jam you on the post and all kind of thing. And this is not love. Love is when you love God, you will able to love others. And that is what really happening to me, and I appreciating it now, that I could truly love somebody now, wholeheartedly, and have nothing against them.
Thank you so very much. Let's take a break and we'll be right back.
Whoa, are you coming? Hey, what if you wait all year for vacation? That's great. What if you wait all year for time? That's great. Houston Hill Beach Bar. Oh, so with your hand in the air, everybody. Houston Hill Beach Bar. Oh, your stress away every day. Now let me do it again. And we moving and we touching and we playing again. Jump and splash up, the hand them spread out. We having fun in the air. Throw your stress away. It's about time for the family line, all in the sunshine. We're feeling fine from Sunday to Sunday. Where we play all day. Well, if you wait all year for time, that's great. Clifton Hill Beach Bar.
Hi and welcome to the giveaway segment. I am Ananda and let's see who knows. Good night, sir.
Yeah, good night.
What's your name?
Anthony Miller.
Anthony, what's your last book in the Bible?
No.
Anthony Cheaton.
Yeah, Revelation.
Who betrayed Jesus?
Judas.
Hi, what's your name, ma'am?
Lisa Francis.
Lisa Francis. Could you tell me the last book in the New Testament?
Genesis?
The last book
Yeah, Genesis.
in the New Testament? What's the last book in the New Testament?
Oh gosh, nah, don't bother. I can't answer that.
The last book in the Bible.
I don't read the Bible.
Can you tell me the last book in the Old Testament? In the New Testament, sorry.
Father of Jesus Christ.
The last book in the entire Bible.
But God will have to strike me for that.
Who betrayed Jesus? Can you tell me who betrayed Jesus?
Judas.
I mean, what's the last book in the Bible?
I know.
Who betrayed Jesus?
I know. I ain't sure.
What's your name, ma'am?
I'm Shuri Trajigat.
What's the last book in the Bible?
Revelations.
Who betrayed Jesus?
Judas.
Good night, sir. What's your name?
Shalom Green.
Sheldon Green. His voice is deep.
There's a question.
No. What's the last book in the whole Bible?
Genesis.
The last book?
Genesis.
Sheldon, man. The last book in the Bible?
Vision.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Sure.
You sure your Bible is start with Revelation?
No.
You sure?
Mm-mm.
Who betrayed Jesus?
Just.
You sure?
Yeah. On land.
It's not Peter?
No. Peter the Nine.
All right. Roxanne Son, can you tell me the last book in your Bible?
Revelation, ma'am.
Can you tell me who betrayed Jesus?
Well, the devil, of course, because Judas was used by the devil, so the first person is the devil.
All right, and we have Bible school history here. All right, we want you to do a tongue twister. Listen to it carefully. How many chops could a woodchuck chop if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
How many chop could a woodchuck if a woodchuck could chop wood?
How many chops could a woodchuck chop if a woodchuck could chop wood?
How many chops could a woodchuck chop if a woodchuck could chop wood?
At least you won something. You got 2 questions correctly. So you won a protein shake from Caribbean Smoothies. All right. Could you do a tongue twister for me?
No.
Okay, do a tongue twister for me.
Tongue twister?
Yes, Amil. How many chops could a woodchuck chop if a woodchuck could chop wood?
How many woodchuck could chop wood?
Listen carefully. How many chops could a woodchuck chop if a woodchuck could chop wood? How many chops could a woodchuck chop if a woodchuck could chop wood?
How many chop would chop could chop?
How many? How many chops could a woodchuck chop if a woodchuck could chop wood?
How many chuck would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
You didn't get all 3, but you got something. And she won a free punch courtesy Caribbean Punches, Point Fortin. How many chops could a woodchuck chop if a woodchuck could chop wood? Repeat? No, you have to repeat because it's a tongue twister. Anthony doing the maths all here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Anthony, I'm just curious, how you get 8?
No, the way how you sung it, I counted one time. What the hell I get?
Let's try now.
On what there?
Listen. How many chops could a woodchuck chop if a woodchuck could chop wood?
I still want to help you with that.
Listen, Amir. How many chops could a woodchuck chop if a woodchuck could chop wood?
How many chops could a woodchuck chop wood? Chop.
How many chops could a woodchuck chop if a woodchuck could chop wood?
How many chops could a woodchuck chops in wood?
Thank you, Amil. Have a great evening.
We just want to say thank you to Pastor Anne-Marie Lacailles for sharing her story with us. You know, so many times children go through certain things and they come out to their parents and try for their parents to understand, and sometimes your parents don't believe you, or you think that you need to be in an abusive relationship in order to keep the love, or thinking that that is true love. But I want you to know God loves you much more than anyone in this world could ever love you. And to find true love, it has to be from God. Because sometimes we look and search for things that doesn't exist, illusions that doesn't exist. And I want to thank Pastor Anne-Marie Lacailles again for being a part of us, for being a part of this, for sharing with us. I also want to thank Clifton Hill Beach Resort for allowing us to use this facility, as well as if it is that you're going through something right now that you need help or you need to get some information to us, we would love to hear from you. Please write us, please message us and allow us, because we'd like to hear your feedback, even concerning the show and what have it done for you so far. Please message us. Kester will give you the information that you will and you can get in contact with us.
You can send an email to us at trbs.tt@gmail.com, or you can upload your testimony on Facebook or send us the message on Facebook at The Reality Behind Success. This was the reality of Pastor Anne-Marie Lacailles. What's your reality?
The reality behind success was made possible thanks to our sponsors.